with it and laid it on the ground and it kept the door open. So it was a useless document because you can't read 600 pages and it's so, I've started multiple businesses since our first business, and all of our business plans now are 15 or 20 pages. But that's a usable, livable, that's a live document. Because the first day you open your business plan kind of goes out the window. However, when we start, we still have thought through most of our challenges. We've thought through who our customers are. We've thought through all the things that you have to think through before you start a business. And a business plan, if you don't write one, you're planning to fail, right? That's it. So can't emphasize enough how important that business plan is to you. Our job is to take risk, but our job is also to minimize the risk, and that's what a business plan can do for you. Number 6. Again, you've probably heard this before, but I'm going to reiterate it again. Budget, 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 budget. Every successful entrepreneur I know, and I've been on stage with some of the most successful entrepreneurs in the world, and they will tell you right here, this is your number one thing. Businesses fail because they don't budget, and they don't stick to that budget, and they manage their business money poorly. You have to be almost religious about how you manage your budget, okay? I mean, you almost have to take that sort of energy and fervor to manage that budget. We'll get to some other reasons why in a few minutes, but that budget is incredibly important, and you have to stick to it. What I didn't realize when I started a business, and I started to get some attention, was everybody started coming in your door for a handout, right? And I'm not against charity. We give a lot to charity. I give a lot to charity. And I believe in it wholeheartedly, but you have to budget for it. And I'll get to learning to say no in a few minutes and why you have to learn to say no as a business owner. But the budget, you have to, if you're going to do charity, if you're going to do handouts, you have to do it once a year and you have to plan a budget around it. Otherwise, you have to learn to say no. There are things that you want to do to spend money that help your ego. We all have an ego. If we're starting a business, we have an ego. Because we're all a little, I know our parents think we're a little crazy. My dad still wants me to be a lawyer at 46. But you have to learn how to say and no, and the budget is a very, very important part of it. People are going to come in and want advertising. They're going to want to put you on the radio. They're going to want to put you on TV. And for some of our businesses, that's not a relevant thing. That's not something we need to do. A lot of entrepreneurs fall into that trap because who doesn't like to see themselves on TV or radio or on a billboard? But we have to understand that those things don't help us in some cases, so we shouldn't do them. So that's my point. I have a buddy of mine, just another budget point. I have a guy that I'm coaching right now, and he started to get himself a little success. He started to have some money in his pocket after a few years. And what did he go out and do? Anybody guess? He bought a car. What kind of car do you think he bought? He bought himself a Tesla. Okay. Come on. And now he wonders why he has no money. So, just be, look, I drive a 10-year-old car. The reason I drive a 10-year-old car is because if somebody opens it up in the parking lot and hits my door, I don't have a heart attack. And my 10-year-old car gets me the same place that nice new shiny $100,000 car Tesla gets you, right? So, budget, budget, budget. Stick to the budget, okay? Number 9, setting up a good support system. Anybody understand what I mean by that?
Be agile to clients.
What's that?
Be agile to clients. Listen to your clients.
Absolutely. That's part of it. Anybody else?
Basically, the people you're interacting with, you what you try to do is that you make sure they add constructively to whatever you do. Be it your clients, be it your advisors, be it the people that your team, everybody that you're interacting with, you should be adding on to what you're doing.
Good point. All right, so what I mean by building a good support network is this. A mentor. Find mentors that understand you and what you want to try to do. The first mentor we ever had was a small business owner. We wanted to be big business. He was a small business. We didn't see eye to eye. You know, we thought big, he thought small. And that was not the kind of person I needed to be talking to in my head. I needed somebody that was going to say, you can be big, but you got to do this. You know, you can be big, but don't ignore this. Or I needed somebody that was critical, would tell me if I was wrong, but I also needed somebody that understood the thinking that we were going through and what we wanted to accomplish. So surround yourself with mentors and people. Like I said, you know, my parents, a lot of my friends, they don't understand what I do. They don't get it. Because I gave up a high-paying job and a good career to go in debt initially. And they didn't understand that. They didn't understand why we would sell a house and cash in our savings and our retirement and mortgage everything to start a business. So you need to surround yourself with people that understand what you're doing, because entrepreneurship can be lonely. Anybody experience that?
Yep.
Okay. So again, if you have negative influences in your life, if you have people that don't support what you're doing, try to minimize your time with them. As hard as that might be, I know.
I can't leave my house.
Just put earplugs in. And just shake your head yes. It made me lose my train of thought. So anyway, no. The other part of that is your network that you hang out with. And I'll cover networking a little bit. But have people around you. The point is, have people around you that support what you're doing and your vision for what you're doing. It's really important to your mental health, because it's stressful as an entrepreneur when all that weight is on you, when you're carrying and making, when all the decisions are on you. That can be heavy. Okay? I'm going to talk about legal and financial structure. All I can tell you is that if you set it up right to begin with, it can save you a lot of time and money. You need to have an accountant and a lawyer on your team. I'll give you a local context to that. I was at a restaurant the other day in Islamabad talking to a new entrepreneur. He'd been in business for about 9 months. And about 4 or 5 months into the business, the tax police or the tax people come in with their whole entourage, very official and very mean looking, with all their, you know, you've probably experienced this. And he said, you know, he got a little worried, obviously. But what he did was he went to his office and he pulled off of his desk his tax lawyer's business card, and he handed it to the man. And the man looked at it, turned around, and marched out of the office. You know, so I can't imagine what he would have had to deal with if he didn't have the right people, right? So get the right people around you so that you can avoid those kind of things. You know, he might have had to spend 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 days dealing with these people, and that would have interrupted his business and interrupted his focus on his business. And it would have been a shame because his food was excellent. He's a small restaurant. So get the right people around you. Set up your business structurally the first time. Here's the other thing. Investors aren't going to look at you if you're not structured financially with a good chart of accounts and a good tax accountant. And they're not going to look at you unless you're structured legally the right way. Investors don't want to come into a business that don't have any books, that don't have any structure, that you can't tell what's going on. So I know you have to operate how you have to operate. I've lived and worked all over the world. I know how you have to do things, but have a good, clean set of stuff, okay? Number 17, who likes to say yes? Yeah? Who has a hard time saying no? Yeah? That must be all the salespeople here, all the people. Like, yeah, yes is easier to say. There probably takes more muscles in your face to say no. Right? I don't know about that. I don't know if that's scientific, but it feels like it takes more energy to say no. However, as entrepreneurs, we need to learn to say no. Can you guys say that for me? No. 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 All right. My son has a little button that says, he presses it, it says no in lots of different voices and languages. Maybe you need to get one of those. But anyway, learn to say no. And there are a couple reasons why you need to learn to say no. Number one, it saves you money. Number two, can save you time. I'll give you a couple of examples. I was talking about a few minutes ago how people come in your door for money or come in to your door for a handout.